Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rob with Next Truck Sales. I want to take this opportunity and introduce you to our 2019 Peterbilt 389 long hood. It features a Cummins X15 with 5.25 horsepower and an Eaton 18-speed manual transmission. It's got 1850 torque. I'll take you through the truck, show you a lot of the nice things about it, as well as I will show you some of the blemishes. It's no longer a new truck. It's really nice, but it's not perfect. So let's go through and we'll start with getting underneath the hood and having a look at this engine, see what's going on over here. It's got 430 some odd thousand miles. We'll get back to that in just a minute. So we got the other hood latch off, and we got a funky duck here with a cigar in his mouth. A two-handed deal, unfortunately, so I gotta kind of grab on it and put the phone down. We do have a couple of handles, which is nice. You got some handles and a duck. Let's have a look over here. So this fender here has a small dent in it. I think you can see it there. It's not cracked, but there is a dent. So that's, I know these fenders are expensive to replace, and the cracks is where it starts. This one's not cracked. This one here I think had a really small dent on it as well, right there. So if you look, you'll see if I can get you a good angle. There it is. See it right there? So two small dents, no cracks, super important, because once the cracks start, you can't fix them and you got to replace the fenders. So let's have a look in here. Original hood, clean Carfax, clean title. So that's important. This truck has all-wheel drum brakes. We put some brand new top hats on the front. We got Michelin X-Line Energies on the front. They're at 80 or 90%. Here's your Cummins X15, which is 99% a Cummins ISX, but they've done some updates and gave it a new name. Have a look here. We got big Donaldson air cleaners on the outside. Okay. And let's have a look at that oil pan. They're pretty common for rotting out and leaking, and this one is clean as a whip. Spring front suspension. Let's go around the other side here and have a peek. Another X-Line Energy, 80% as well. I'm going to put this hood down at some point and I'm going to show you, actually I'm going to leave it open for now. We'll get the engine running. I want to show you a couple of things, but I did want to go through the wrap that's on this truck and some of the chrome, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So you have here your spring front suspension. I do like this. This is nice. We can walk in here. You got miles of room to get working on this engine. So what have we got? We've got a Cummins 565 horsepower, 1850 torque. I'm not sure if you can see that perfectly, but it is a family 3 engine, so it's got all the upgrades that you can get on it as far as the upgraded pistons, injectors. It's got upgraded turbo. It's got all the updated, or not updated, upgraded to give you higher horsepower. You can't just flash up some of the smaller, well, they're not even smaller, the family 1 and 2 engines, because they don't have the internal components to allow the horsepower output. This one has all the upgrades. If you want to turn it down, you can turn it down to 525. So have a look inside of here. You'll see everything is nice and clean and dry. Okay, let's go through the outside here. So we've polished it and it's been sitting outside for about 3 weeks. We are in the middle of a move. We've moved to a new location. The pictures were taken at the old location. It's got some other stuff going on the inside. I'll get into that in a minute, and I remember why I didn't do the video, and I'll get into that in a second, but we've polished it. So this has been sitting outside for 2-3 weeks. Have a look here. Clean idle, California compliant, stainless wrapped def tank, stainless straps for the tank, as well as high polish aluminum. This one here's a 120 gallon. Have a look back here. We haven't painted the frame. We could if that's super important, but at this point we chose not to, because sometimes when you paint the frame, it creates more problems than you're solving, because you're sandblasting it, and preferably leave it the way that it is. And Peterbilt frames are generally pretty good as it is. We've got a full-size headache rack here with chains and a trough, okay, as well as your glad hands or your trailer cords that go up on there. Right now they're laying there. So we've got a Holland 3500 sliding fifth wheel. This will be a 48.5-inch height, and it looks like it's in really good shape because we've got a lot of adjustment on that jam nut. We've got AccuRide wheels with Goodyear drives on the front, General tires on the back. So these are going to be in the range of 80-90% tread, maybe 90-95% tread. They look awesome. And these are Generals. The fronts are Goodyear's Marathon RSD, and they are in and around the 80% tread. Again, the truck's been sitting outside, so it's not absolutely clean anymore, but if you look, and I just wipe off the dirt, once we give this truck a bath, it's gonna look awesome. But I'm doing the video today because I have a customer who wants to see the video. He's ready to make a deal on it, so I'll do the truck video the way she sits. So here we have your standard closing cross member lights, 40,000 pound rear diff with a locker. That's important. If you are stuck, that will get you out. Over here we've got more matching Generals, so we got more 90-95% Generals on the back, Virgins, and then more Goodyear Marathons on the front. Give you a look there. Those are, those are definitely knee deep. 80-90% treads. Over here, this white spooge on the frame is actually from the polish. It's polishing cream because the guy polished the aluminum, and that's where all the spray come off. We haven't washed it since he did that. This tank size here is, drum roll please, 150 gallons. So we got 150, and I think we said a 130 on the other side. I believe this truck is a 265 wheelbase, so I'll give you a good wide angle perspective. Back up here, you've got the 80-inch Peterbilt sleeper. You got big 7-inch stacks. And they're not cold pipes. If you look, they are connected down below. So let's get this thing running after I take you through the interior. And I'm gonna put the hood down last and show you the wrap. But I did want to show you, this silver is a vinyl wrap. And it's a high quality because we had the customer's logo and stuff on here, and we peeled it off with no effort whatsoever. So if you don't like the vinyl wrap, it will be very easy to remove it. And then over here, actually I'll take you here really briefly. This cow, if we want to call it, steer, that is obviously just stuck underneath the logo. So it's going to come with a fresh DOT inspection certificate, so it's fresh safety, road ready, whatever you want to call it. It's going to come with no check engine lights, no leaks, cold air, ready to go to work. That's the way we're selling this truck. Some of the stickers have worn through. It is California and US EPA compliant. It's Canada compliant and US DOT compliant, although we can't read it because this is, again, that cream from the polisher when he was polishing this exhaust guard. He obviously got some on the sticker. So those are all important that to know that the truck is compliant pretty much everywhere you can drive it. So let's have a look. We've got the platinum interior, which is the top of the line interior with all the bells and whistles. So we've got the wood grain, we've got power locks, power mirrors, power windows. Okay, we've got a nice leather, genuine leather legacy seat. The side is pleather. The top, the part where you put your butt, is genuine leather. We've got some multi adjustments. I'm going to move it down. Now, 445,000 miles, and we've got an aftermarket wheel, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But let me get it running first. So here's the deal. We got smart nav. We got full complement of gauges. Currently, we've got some lights on in the dash, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about. This wheel, this steering wheel that's on this truck, needs to come off. And the reason why it needs to come off is because this truck came with steering wheel audio controls, steering wheel cruise control. So it's the smart wheel, which is the one where you'll see in some of the newer Peterbilts and Kenworths that they'll have 3 or 4 buttons on each side. Without that wheel in there, it's throwing codes for everything related to cruise control and steering wheel audio, and the truck's not happy. So we've got a wheel on order, but unfortunately wheels are on back order, so that's en route. You can drive it perfectly fine, but our plan is to get a wheel put in this thing and sell it with no lights on. Unfortunately, without the wheel, we can't solve the problem. So have a look here. We've got traction control light, and again, that's tied into cruise control. Over here on the navigation side, we've got obviously a functioning co-pilot system with the newer system, which has the upgraded screen as well as the lower button dual redundant radio controls. We got cold air. It's a little bit warm today, so I can turn it on. You see, you got full lockers. So full lockers, remember I pointed out that thing on the back diff? That's gonna lock the rear, and this is gonna lock front side to side. This PTO switch is pretty cool, kinda sorta. If you're familiar with anti-idling rules, you can't idle your truck, and so a lot of these trucks nowadays are programmed not to idle. So you can't idle it. This thing's gonna shut down soon if I don't snap the accelerator. If you trick it, put it into PTO mode, it thinks it's on PTO, when we put our cruise up, then it won't shut down. So this PTO switch is for the purpose of that. Have a look here, we've got 18-speed manual, we've got a non-smoker, super clean ashtray, okay, we've got obviously turn signals, we've got a bunch of test lights and such. We've got a cup holder that's still in place. My biggest complaints about these 389s, and this is why they went to the new, I think it's called a 589, is the cab is really narrow, right? So to get into the back, you've actually got to fold this armrest out of the way. That armrest there folds out front. Because this is an aftermarket seat, it doesn't have the folding feature. So you better not be too wide of a person, because you're going to be hard pressed to fit through this 10-inch width unless you take the armrest off of this or you remove this seat, one way or the other. Okay, let's go in the back and have a look at what we've got. We've got a single bed. We've got some fridge parts on the floor. I'm not sure why they're on the floor, so I'm going to pick them up and put them all inside the fridge. So probably my cleaner decided that was a better place for them. So we got a fridge up top here. I'm going to turn on some lights so you can see a little bit better. The lock for the fridge is there, so it doesn't come flying open when you're driving down the road. We've got secure storage inside of here with a clothes hanger and several racks. Over on this side looks like we've got a power inverter and a bunk heater. Let's see if that works. Doesn't appear to be working. We've got a heater that's stopped. Well, why would we run the heater now? We've got cold air coming out of here. Let's make sure. We got a bed, so we got a bunk light up there, which is nice, and a clock and a mirror, or sorry, a window, and some red lights. We've got secure storage up top here, so we've got the curtains. Okay, we've got more secure storage over in the corner at the back. Just take you through. Overall clean. There's no smell, no indication that this was a smoker truck. I don't smoke, so I would know this. Everything here seems to be in good order. We've got some extra speakers, some lights, turn everything on. We've got secure storage down here. And this is your 80-inch sleeper, although they call it an 80-inch. I don't know if it's a full 80-inch. It's really, you know, what do we got in front of this bed? We've got maybe 2 feet, and you've got maybe a 5, well, hard to say. I don't know how they measure it, but regardless. Brand new mattress in a bag. Okay, over here we've got your bunk heater is right here. Okay, we've got a winter front over here, looks like. Your factory HVAC is right there. And there you go. So it gives you a good look at what we got. I'm going to take you outside in the front and get the engine running and let you have a listen to it, and I'll show you the blow-by on it. And I'm going to shut all these lights off here first. Let's get out and have a look at it. So for whatever reason, we've got the engine did shut down, so there's going to be a trick to tricking that into not shutting down, and I'm not sure what the deal is, but we'll figure it out. We may even be able to flash it. Once it hits a certain point and it's out of warranty, you can definitely take it out. A lot of these manufacturers put in, as long as the truck's within whatever manufacturing specs they have for warranty, they won't allow the truck to do long-term idling. So let's have a look here. We'll get outside and have a listen. We've got 140 degrees temperature. We got good voltage. Good oil pressure for a Cummins. They do run lower than most. Let's have a look at the blow-by on this and see what's going on. on these newer X15s, the fan running, actually what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shut it off. No, the fan is free. I was thinking the fan was stuck on, but for whatever reason the fan has decided to come on and I don't want it on. Two reasons. Number one, I don't want my hand to get chopped off, and number two, it tends to spray a bit of oil and I don't want oil flying everywhere. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, so we'll just get a quick look inside of there. There's nothing funky going on that I can see. I'm gonna start it. We're gonna have a peek inside of that hole, see how much blow-by is coming out of there. So let's do that. Start it right up, and then I'll do a walk around once I get the oil filler cap back on. So we'll start it. So I can put that oil filler cap back on. Almost visible blow-by. Very, very, very little. I could see some. You might not be able to see it in the video. I could see some. I think you see it on a brand new Cummins. They all have blow-by. If you look at trade term specs for like Used Truck Association trade terms, they actually have the specifications listed on what would be considered a fail for each engine manufacturer. When if I'm selling you a truck and it's going to come in a certain condition, it can't be below can't be above a certain amount of blow-by. The Cummins spec is actually about triple what everybody else is. So let me get it started up. We'll have a look at the rest of the engine running without the oil filler cap on. Okay, I'll shut it down. Okay, well, thanks for your patience for me going back and forth on this thing. I did want to have you see it with the oil filler cap off, but also at the same time, I do know on these X15s, if you rev them up with the oil filler cap off, it makes an absolute mess and it sprays oil everywhere. And I know this from experience. So there you have it, 2019 Pete 389, long hood, big sleeper, really nice looking truck with big Cummins and an 18 speed, 12 and 40 axles with full lockers, 280 or 285 gallons of fuel, clean truck, no accidents, clean Carfax, all that good stuff, and ready to go to work. Only piece that we need to do is get that steering wheel ordered in, or get it to arrive and install it and get that traction control light off. Everything else on this truck looks pretty much as nice as you're going to find in this vintage. Feel free to give me a call. Our number is 844-489-8789. 844-489-8789. It's Rob at Next Truck Sales. I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.